So from the title of the video, you probably worked out we've sold the house, we're moving. So why on earth would we move out of this house where I built this bar and I've literally just finished the Art Deco bathroom? Why would we move out now? Bit of a background, I built this bar and arcade in October 16 through to the summer of 17 when I had no green card. So I came here legally to America legally, and you have to have 6 months without working before you get your green card. So I spent the time on the bar. Dug 33 ton of clay out of this room, put 8 ton of concrete back in this room, and then did all the sheetrock, all the electrics, all the wiring, the plumbing and everything. So everything you see now, is what I built. And my friend Jim helped me on some of it when he wasn't at work. Then COVID last year, I did the Art Deco bathroom. Literally just finished it 2 months ago. And on February 23rd of this year, so 4 weeks ago, I had ankle surgery. And right up to that point, no intention of selling the house. We talked about moving at some point, but we had no intention of moving now. It wasn't going to be a case of, in 4 weeks' time we're going to move. So we live in what they call multi-family property. So we got a big house with, not that big, but a big house essentially, with 2 apartments on the top floor that we rent. They access those apartments without coming through our house. And then next to the house we got a duplex. So people in England, we got a pair of semi-detached bungalows. We've got a 2-bed with 1 bathroom and a 3-bed with 2 bathrooms. And we rent that out. So we normally have 7 tenants on site. 7 people all paying rent. And then, so we have 9-10 cars on site continually. And the rent from those, without going into figures, brings in, a good, what one person would earn in a year. So it's additional money. So, it's completely financial while we do it. And it's completely financial why somebody wants to buy a multi-family home. Now, most of these companies that contact us weekly, they write a letter or they telephone and they say, we want to buy your property. And most of them want to offer you less than what it's actually worth. They think you're dumb or whatever. They want to buy it for less than it's really valued at. So about a year ago, we had the house appraised, came up with a value. And we both agreed that if somebody offered us this magic figure, we would sell the house. So everyone that's phoned up since last summer probably, and we get 1 a week at least, 2 a week, 3 a week, we always tell them the same thing. You can buy it tomorrow, but this is the price, it's non-negotiable. You can't deduct money off, you can't knock money off for this, that and the other. If you want us out of this property, you've got to pay this much. So day before my surgery, I believe it was, we had a gentleman phone up, and he is a gentleman, and we call him Mr. X. And Mr. X said, I want to buy your property. And, he inquired about buying. Instead of just saying, I want to buy a property, he said, would you be willing to sell? I'm interested in purchasing. Yada, yada, yada. So we just told him, this is the price. And he went, okay, can I come and look at it? So he actually came and looked at it, and walked around the property, all the different apartments we got, and came back a couple of days later and said, yes, I can make that work. I can give you the money that you want. So we struck a deal, so we're going to get exactly what we want for it. Now, already, a few people have said to me, well, I would have told him $1 billion, and then you can retire and never work again. These people aren't in the real world. The house is worth X. We wanted to sell it for X plus Y, which is the little bit we put on top for what we wanted to get out of it. And he's trying to find someone that will buy it for that. Loads of people want to buy it half price, and that's never going to happen. It's like going up to someone with a vintage Ferrari and saying, I'll give you $1,000 for it because it's 40 years old, when the car's worth $1 million. You're not going to buy something off someone for less than it's worth. But he said he would buy the house at the price we wanted, and great, fantastic. So, yes, I've done all this work, and somebody's already commented, why bother doing all the bar and the arcade and then building this bathroom only to move? Well, a lot of that comes down to your outlook on life. What's the point of getting out of bed? You're only going to go back to bed. What's the point of going to work? You're only going to come home. What's the point of doing anything? You're only going to die. That is how your outlook on life is, to my mind. When I built the bar and when I built the bathroom, we had no intention of moving. We weren't moving at that point. So I built this bar nearly 4 years ago, and I've used it for 4 years, enjoyed it for 4 years. And I learned a lot doing it, and there's things I would change on the next one. And there's things I like that I'm going to incorporate on the next one. But we've used it for 4 years and we've enjoyed the space. Someone's come along and said, it's great and I want to buy your house. Now, I'd like to say that someone bought the house purely for the bar. They haven't. It's purely, a financial thing. They want rental property, and they want as much rental property on one site as they can, and the location is key. We are downtown Chattanooga, and they can get, as much money as they can per person. It's purely financial for them. They couldn't care less. It's not anyone's home. It's just business, and that's cool. So we found ourselves in a position within a week of my surgery. I'm 6 weeks in bed. I'm supposed to be in bed now, but yeah, within 6 weeks of within a week of my surgery, being told that your house is sold. So we did a deal so we had a date to move out, so I can recover to a point at least I can walk on crutches, and we struck a deal. And that's it, we're moving. So then it's panic of trying to buy something, trying to find somewhere to go, somewhere to live, in this time frame we've got. So we started looking at properties. We looked at 5 properties, and then we found a 6th property that had already been under contract, and the contract had fallen through. So we've made an offer, and we've got that house. So one of the biggest problems for me is I run a business, construction business, do renovation, remodeling, build some small amount of furniture. And at this house, I have no garage space, no workshop space. What was going to become the cinema room, which is in there, is currently got all my tools in it. And it's a mess. And it drives, both of us crazy that we've got nowhere to put anything really. We've also got no garage space. We've got a convertible car, and it sits outside under a tree. So we put it under cover, and the cover is terrible. So the house we're getting is bigger than this house, but there's no rental property. There is garage parking for 7 cars. And it is nowhere near any other house. It's in 5.85 acres. So it's remote, and it's not far from here really. It's like 20-minute drive, if that, 15-minute drive from where we currently are. So we're not moving out of Chattanooga. We're not moving the other side of the country, nothing like that. But I say everyone's got an opinion, and everyone's bound to say, well, I would have sold it for more. These people don't even know the figures involved. They don't know all the details, and there's a lot of details. Rather than trust, 2 people that are professionals and that have lived in this house and know what they're moving to and all the financial details, they don't trust us. They're like, well, I would have done this and I would have done that, and I would have, let's say, sold it for $1 billion, or I would have. Somebody said to me the other day, I would have sold it for this much, and they were half the price of what we're actually getting for it, because they got no idea what the property's worth. We do. We had it appraised. The gentleman's had it appraised. He knows that what we're selling it for is fair and just. We're getting out of it. We're going to go somewhere that's quieter. We're right downtown. We've got numerous problems with traffic, people cutting through, people turning around in the driveway. Ambulances going past all hours of night and day. We got 10 apartments are opposite the house, and the 20 people that are in there are all 2-bed, and I think all of them have got 2 people in. And this year, the people in there are all students, it seems to be. And these people do not care. They're like, 20 years old, young and dumb, and they are dumb. They come home 3 o'clock in the morning with a radio blaring in their car. Then they pull up and turn the engine off and leave the radio on, listening to their music at 3 in the morning that's really loud, while they do whatever they do in the car. Then they get out, slam the door, lock it so the horn sounds on the car. Then literally 10 seconds later they unlock it so the horn sounds twice. And then they get something out of their car and then lock it again. And then they go in and slam the door on their apartment. And I'm just thinking, how is nobody else in the street, or especially in the apartments, how are they not complaining about the noise? And this is every week. We had people shouting in the street. You can tell I'm getting old, can't you? So we take this as an opportunity to move somewhere a bit quieter. So what's going to happen with the bar on the arcade? Well, this bar, and a few people that have seen this video, they've been here. And you can get 8 people in this room comfortably. 10 is uncomfortable. So where we're going has got the potential for a bar and an arcade. It's a lot less work than what this one was. So it won't take a lot to get it there. But we could probably have 30 people, in the bar and the arcade. Parking is a real issue where we are. We've already got upwards normally of 10 cars on site. So when we have visitors, they can't even park on the property. The new house isn't going to be a problem. We could have 70 cars on site. Ain't going to be an issue. So for numerous reasons that suit us, it makes sense to move and to move now. We're not paying a realtor, so we're saving a ton of money, on that. They normally charge 7 to 9% of the sale price. So we're saving a lot of money. We're saving 5 figures. A decent chunk of 5 figures we're saving by not using a realtor. So that's going to help in the new property. And, it's just the right time to move. We don't necessarily need a house that's bigger. There is workshop space, say where I'm going. The workshop is away from the house. so I can work on stuff, I can paint stuff, and the fumes aren't evil in the house, and I can use power tools, and I'm not, disturbing people in the house. So it's the right time to go. And I say, I'm sure everyone's got an opinion on it. I'm sure someone's going to tell us that we're wrong, or we should have done this, we should have done that, and that's great. You do you, and I'll do me. We're happy, and that's all that matters. So the pinballs are moving, the arcade cabinets go in, shuffleboards go in, all the liquors go in. Anything that isn't classed as a fixture will go. So wine fridge, beer fridge, ice maker, that all stays because they're fixtures. The dishwasher down here, everything else is going with us. So this lot's all going, and it'll all go into a new room. And as and when we get in there, I'll make new videos, and you'll see what we got there. And in a year's time, no one's ever going to remember this, and no one's going to care about this. The gentleman that's buying this will probably turn this into a bedroom of some description, just so that more rental space. And it's all about money, And say he's been a gentleman. He's given us exactly what we asked for. We haven't been greedy. We wasn't going to ask him for $1 billion. We're never going to get $1 billion. But it's an opportunity for us to move out, to get a different start, a different location. The other house is like chalk and cheese compared to this house. It's just, the other house is so different. There's space, and the layout fits exactly what we want. It ticked all our boxes. Needs some work, and there'll be videos on that as we go. But there's certainly no 33 ton of clay to dig out. One other thing in here is the ceilings are 6'5", and that's because the floor level was already here, and this wasn't really a basement room. I could have dug this down another 2 foot, but if you know anything about construction, the more you go down, the more money it costs. So just to go the whole basement 2 foot down would probably be another $50,000. That's why the ceilings as they are. So where we go in, the ceilings are a little bit higher, so the basement will be nicer. There's actually windows in the new basement. So we've got daylight when we want daylight, and we've got blackout blinds up, curtains up when we want, we want it dark. But yeah, new start, and I'm excited.